special episode of CHURCHepreneurs Podcast. My name is Richard Moore. On this podcast, I talk about everything that's moving me in relation to church and theology, hopefully to empower you in your ministry, church, theological understanding, but most importantly, your personal growth in Christ. As of late, I've been really excited about the growth of our audience and the growth of support that you guys have expressed for me and the work that I do on this podcast. And so I'm not sure if a lot of you know, because of the newcomers to the channel, that I have been a missionary to Germany for the last 10 years. And this podcast has become a great part of my ministry, but it's not the only part of my ministry. I thought I'd take this opportunity to present to you, our growing audience, our family, and our missionary work in Germany. So here I've got a PowerPoint presentation that I present to people that explains our ministry in more detail. So let's jump over here and we can get going. The more family we are, the more family we have been serving God in missionary work here in Germany, sharing the gospel through music, youth ministry, church planting, and preaching ministry for the last 10 years here in Germany. Our sending agency is TeachBeyond, which is a global sending agency for teachers and gospel teachers from North America to Germany. Our German mission that we work with on the ground here in Germany is called Antiochia Teams, or Antioch Teams in English. And that mission is solely focused on the German-speaking world. We say from gospel proclamation all the way through unto church planting. Our missionary work could be most succinctly summed up in one verse. It's found in Acts 20:24. It's my life verse. It says, "However, I consider my life worth nothing to me, if only I may finish the race and complete the task the Lord Jesus has given to me, the task of testifying to the gospel of God's grace." Our work, whatever we're doing, whether it's basketball or music, whether it's youth work or preaching, our goal is to testify to the gospel of God's grace. And so let me take a few moments and introduce my family to you. Here's a picture of us. I love this picture. It's a little bit old, but it sums us up pretty succinctly too, because we're always in action. We're always in movement. So here's my wife on the right. She's Simona, and she is a missionary kid herself. Her parents were missionaries on the Micronesian islands in the South Pacific. They served as teachers in a seminary afterwards, after their missionary service, and they live in the Gießen area near Frankfurt. Here we've got our oldest daughter. This is Anna on the far right. She is 18. She is graduating high school this year, and I don't know if I'm quite ready for that yet, but God has blessed her with us, and she is about to graduate. Here's Lydia. I love this picture because we're like her entourage right in the middle, and you can see her there right in the middle. Then Caleb, he is in 6th grade, and Lydia is in 9th grade. So let me, here's a more recent picture at Easter. And we were at the school that our kids go to, Black Forest Academy here in Kondern. Caleb's in 6th. There's Anna in 12th grade and Lydia in 9th grade on their first day of school this last fall. So that's them. Here's Anna in 12th, and we are very, very blessed with her. She is going to be starting her occupational program after she graduates from high school. She goes to a school for people with disabilities, and it has been a great, great blessing in a town called Lörrach. Lydia's in the 9th grade, and she is also very active, doing lots of sports, basketball and volleyball, and loves music. Here's Caleb, our youngest. He's in the 6th grade, and he loves gaming, and he loves, with reservation, basketball. So we will move on here. Here, let me introduce each one of our kids and what they do. Anna does lots of occupational therapy. She has Down syndrome, and so she has to do all sorts of different occupational type therapies, and here is Simona helping her. She was doing occupational therapy during a retreat that I was preaching at. So this is some of the things that she tends to do. Here is another possibility she has for occupational therapy, wonderful color-coded therapy there. And she was doing this during a retreat I was preaching at from the organization Word of Life. You may have heard of it in New York. They have a partner organization here in Germany. They have camps and retreats and all sorts of other type of work here in Germany. They're a very strong evangelistic organization here that we partner with. Here are kids. I thought this was a great picture of Lydia and Anna at laser tag. Anna really loved laser tag once we did it. And then we also had recently a birthday party with her whole classmates. And that was a really fun time. Seeing all of her classmates who are all affected by disability have really a great fun time doing something that they might not ever get the chance to do. And so we were really grateful to be able to minister that and do that with them. That was a real fun time. Here's Caleb at his basketball game, his very first basketball tournament. And he was very nervous, but he did a great job. And these were his very first free throws he ever has taken in his life in a competition. So we were very proud of him for that. Here we are. This is a map of where we're located. So this is all, of course, if you've ever done any geography, this is all Germany. There are 16 states in Germany. And here we are located at the very southwest corner near the border of Switzerland and France. And we are located in Germany in that southwest corner of Baden-Württemberg, near Lörrach, near Basel, if you know that city and big city in Switzerland. And we are located in a small town called Kandern. Here we go. This is a more exact look at that three-country corner is what it's called. Here's a town that we are located nearby. It's called Lörrach, and our little town is called Kandern. Here, really in the very southwest corner of Germany, near Switzerland and France. Here's a little picture of our small village, Kandern, and it's quite beautiful. It's not hard to live here in the sense of how beautiful it is. There's lots of wonderful countryside and lots of scenic views, and we're so blessed by that opportunity to serve and live here. Here is a choir. One of the things that my wife does, she does ministry through music, and she leads a couple choirs in our area. She leads a choir in Augen, which is a town real nearby us, about 20 minutes away. Here is one of the recent performances by that choir, and here they are right in the middle of singing a beautiful song. That was a really wonderful performance in a very large church building, and we'll see a few more pictures of how the buildings and the churches are so beautiful. Riedlingen is another choir that she leads, and this is of them right as well in the middle of a performance. See here, you can see the church in the background. That is the small hometown church in Riedlingen. And here is Simona preparing for that concert. Here is another concert that her Riedlingen choir did in another church. And you can just see churches all over the place in Germany, church buildings that unfortunately are quite empty. The land of the Reformation is now a spiritual wasteland in a lot of ways. So the choirs fill up churches because of these performances, but for the most part, these churches are empty and or very sparsely attended. Here is a picture of Simona in a recording that she was asked to help sing in. A Christian bluegrass artist recorded a CD, and he invited her to sing on the CD with her. She sang background vocals, and that was an incredible opportunity to showcase her talent. My wife is a classically trained opera singer and a musician. She plays all sorts of instruments. She teaches piano, teaches voice, and of course performs here and there when she has the opportunity, and is a classically trained opera singer. There is all sorts of talent in this family, and she has lots of that talent. So we have great opportunity to use her talents and gifts for the glory of God and to testify to the gospel of God's grace. So that was a great opportunity. Part of my ministry has become pulpit supply, and I preach quite a bit at different churches around our area. And here I am preaching at City Mission Church in a town called Lörrach. That word on the back of the wall there is love in German. And so this is a great church. It's our church that we attend, and I get to preach there occasionally, especially in the summertime when we start our basketball camps. Here I am preaching at a Baptist church in Switzerland. This was a most recent contact. the pastor had a really serious accident, and so I've preached there a couple times to help and support that church. Here is a church that our mission agency supports. It's a church planting project in Gladbeck, a town in the east of Germany. And I was visiting there. This pastor who is preaching at the moment there on the left, he is planting a church. This was his sending day where the church sent this guy out to start and plant a church in another area called Mülheim. Here is all of our church planting project leaders at a conference we were at together called Evangelium 21. It's Gospel 21. It's an organization in Germany that is gospel focused and has a reformed leaning stance. It's a great organization, and we were all there together and we had a nice celebration there. Here's also some of our other leaders and a few that we had made contacts with. So this is a great opportunity for us to recruit church planters to our organization. What a great looking group of people there. One thing that our organization has done lately is take over an organization's English camp program that was run by another mission, and we've put it into effect here. Germans really want to learn English. That's a great opportunity, a great avenue for people to reach people, especially young people. And here's the camp we just did in the Easter break. So this was a real big success. About 30 young people, young teenagers, and we had a great time there. And we preached the gospel. We used sports this year as the kind of the theme. Here's also another organizational thing we did. Antioch teams, again, took over some camps, and we have taken over an outdoor camp as well from TeachBeyond Global, which they weren't able to sustain it anymore, and so we were able to take it over, and we've run it for the last couple years. And this is a great opportunity to preach to German teenagers as well as English-speaking teenagers. And this was me preaching at the outdoor camp. I'm also involved in YMCA or CVJM, which is the YMCA in Germany. I'm on the board of the YMCA, the CVJM in Lörrach, and every year we run a basketball camp. And this year was especially good. We had a great turnout of kids. This was on the right was the kids camp, and on the left was the teenagers camp. And I was able to preach at each basketball camp. We have an American team come over to serve us here, and then we also have a German team. We put them together, and then we run this basketball camp. It's a really great opportunity for the gospel. Other things I do from gospel proclamation to church planting. So Antioch Teams is an organization that it focuses on gospel proclamation all the way to church planting and everything in between. We have all sorts of different type of work within that. One of the main things that I've gotten into in the last few years, as you've probably aware if you watch my channel at all, is discernment and understanding of the New Apostolic Reformation. And this book that I wrote, it was originally written in English and translated now into German, and it's called Entwurzelt. You can see it here. That's the book I wrote on that topic. If you're a German speaker, you're welcome to scan that QR code in the right. I also work and help our church planters. I help others discover and understand what sound theology looks like, and to discern and understand modern movements, and that especially those modern movements, how they influence Europe. There's quite a bit of New Apostolic Reformation influx into Europe, and one of my main ministries has become helping people understand, helping churches understand modern movements that influence Europe, and especially the German-speaking world. I also do lots of youth ministry, youth speaking. I speak at youth camps. I speak at Word of Life, which I mentioned is a partner program. I work all throughout the YMCA, throughout Germany, throughout Europe, and I'm invited often to speak at camps and youth events and things like that. My preaching pulpit supply has grown as of late, and I supply pulpits for a few churches in our area. Again, like I said, here is my book that was translated into German. It's called Divergent Theology in English, and there's also the QR code. You're welcome to scan that and take a look. It deals with the New Apostolic Reformation, Word of Faith movement, and Third Wave movement, and the theological characteristics of those movements. And like I said, Antioch Teams hopes to help people, help churches proclaim the gospel from gospel proclamation all the way to church planting. We have several church planting projects that are in the works, and I help in any way that those church planting projects need support. Here's Simona directing a scene from a musical camp. We've been involved with Word of Life musical camps for some years. These campers, they go to these camps every year, and they, from the start to finish, they practice, perform, and put on musicals that are biblically themed. For instance, Simona helped this last year write a musical on the life of Paul. And these are really gospel-focused musicals, and here is Simona helping direct a scene from those musicals at musical camp. I would preach, and Simona helps with the musical side of things. That's been an incredible ministry over the last 8 years or so. Here's one of the musicals being performed. It's called Word of Life. It's Wort des Lebens in German. And here we serving these teenagers. And then at the end of the week, they put on and perform the musical for 3 or 4 different cities. Here's the castle where the Word of Life Kids Camp takes place. And Simona has worked with the Kids Camp for many years and the musicals that happen there. Again, music is one of our many, many tools we use to reach people for Christ. And this camp is the place where the kids camps takes place, and the musical camps take place there as well. Word of Life in Starnberg, right on a lake. And if you look the other direction, you're looking out onto a beautiful lake. Here is Simona in the middle being honored for her work with the kids. It's kind of a grainy picture there. And they call up all the leaders. These are all the leading staff of a camp after the camp's over, and they do their performances. So that's a real quick cursory look at our ministry here in Germany. We do most of our work in the German language, preaching, teaching, musical work, music work with Simona, my work with youth and other organizations preaching and teaching. When you think of Germany, you probably think of the Reformation, land of Luther and all the reformers. But the Reformation really is sort of a long gone conclusion. The German magazine Der Spiegel once said that Germany is a heathen nation with Christian residue. And that is certainly confirmed in the numbers. 2 to 4% of Germans are born-again evangelical Christians. The rest are Lutheran or Catholic, and people are by the droves leaving church. As a German, you are taxed according to your faith. If you're evangelical Lutheran, you are taxed 4 to 10% taxes through that. If you're Catholic, you're also taxed through that church. And people don't want to be taxed anymore. They're secular. They have no connection to church. They're not believers in Jesus Christ. And so they're leaving the church at 6,000 to 10,000 people a month are officially leaving and giving up their membership so they won't be taxed by the German state. Now, does that mean they're not Christians? It really depends, but the church is hemorrhaging people from the official state churches and the Catholic Church. But the evangelical churches are growing. There is hope. There is life. And so if you would prayerfully consider coming onto our support team, we would really, really appreciate your contribution in any way. There are several ways you can support us if God's calling you to. You could support us with a one-time financial gift. That really helps us. It supports us with big extra costs. But the most substantial way, the sustainable way you can really help us is with a monthly gift of $50, $100, or $200, which is mostly what our supporters give, anywhere from $50 to $200 a month. That helps us sustain a salary. And the third way you can support us is through prayer. I'll go through all those ways real quick and give you information for each one. Prayer is an essential part, and if you would consider coming onto our prayer team, that would be one of the most substantial ways you could support us through prayer. So first, if you're in Germany, you can use this bank information here and the QR code to support us with your one-time gift or your monthly gift. And you can set that up using the Project 53590 code. That would really help us a lot. Secondly, if you're in the United States, you could support us also with a one-time gift or a monthly financial gift. That is really helpful to help, again, like I said, for us to receive a sustainable salary. There you can do that with the QR code. You can also log on to that website underneath our picture there, teachbeyond.org/support/the-mores. And you can set up your monthly giving at that website or the QR code there. And the last way here you can support us is through prayer. This is our prayer QR code. If you want to log into that, scan that QR code, and you can sign up for our support letter. I send out pretty regular updates on prayer requests and what's happening with us and where we're serving and what God is doing. So please hit that QR code there and you can sign up for our regular prayer letter and you'll get all the updates so you can pray with us. We would ask you to prayerfully consider coming on to our one-time financial support team, our monthly financial support team, or our prayer support team. And you can do that with all those QR codes I just gave. I'll also put all these links in the description and the show notes. I would like to leave you with this one thought. It's the Great Commission. It's found in Matthew 28:19-20, and it says, "Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." And that's what we're trying to do. Whatever your calling, whatever God has called you to do, where you are, then we want to be an extension of the Great Commission that you're doing where you are here in Germany. So if God is calling you to evangelize, if God is calling you to do youth work, if God is calling you to do anything, we want to be an extension of that calling that you have wherever you are here in Germany. And we are making disciples. We are baptizing. We're going to teach all the things that Christ has commanded us. And be sure of this, that he is with us even to the very end of the age. So if God is calling you to support us, we would appreciate anything you would do in support of us, whether through prayer or a financial gift. So thanks so much for tuning in to this special episode of CHURCHepreneurs Podcast. We're very blessed by our growing community of people who are appreciating our ministry on this platform. If you're appreciating this ministry, we would ask you to prayerfully consider coming on our support team to support the work we're doing here for the Lord in Germany. Thanks for tuning into this special episode of CHURCHepreneurs Podcast. You can find out more information about my ministry at richardpmore.net. I also blog at richardpmore.blogspot.com. You're welcome to follow me on X. My X handle is at richardpmore23. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, especially about our support, you can email us at churchepreneurs@gmail.com. That's CHURCHepreneurs@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out on one of those platforms. Until next time, God bless you and take care.